Hello and welcome to Gaia Blooming GPS. This is our weekly show where we come and pull cards for you and talk about the astro to help you navigate your week. And we had a shifty week last week and we have another shifty week this week. So we're going to just dive right in. So this moon is our first shift. The moon is actually building to a full moon, the second full moon of July actually, so a blue moon. But before that, we have the moon shifting into Capricorn, and that is on Tuesday. And interestingly enough, I pulled two healing cards with this. I've got Osho and the goddesses again. And the first card, healing, and then from goddesses, each shell, which is medicine woman, healing power. And I actually find this really interesting because via Leo, or Sun in Leo, Capricorn is the sixth house, which is the house of healing. And we have Virgo, or Venus in Virgo, for a few more days until it shifts. And Venus in Virgo is helping us put some emphasis on our body. So there's actually a lot of healing energy available to you during this time of Capricorn. And Capricorn can be so practical in nature. So maybe your practicality will be best served in, I don't know, allowing yourself to know that you're a healer. And, sometimes that can be controversial, but think about it. Every wound that you've had, bruises and cuts and all that, has always healed. It's intrinsic in your being because you came from the Creator. So allow that energy to come through you. You don't have to necessarily know what you're doing, but recognize that it's there, and just pay attention to how it's affecting your body as we build to this full moon. Maybe there's some stuff that's coming up in this full moon that needs to be healed. Allow your own personal power and, the power available to you via being in this universe to help heal you. Nicole?
I was waiting for the garbage truck to go by, and he did. Well,
yay!
Well, hopefully he keeps going. You might hear him in the background, so I apologize. So I'm pulling from the Angels and the Osho deck as well. The first card that I pulled for this moon in Capricorn is the awareness card. So this awareness card just means that maybe you were feeling in the shadows, that you felt like there wasn't any clarity. Well, things with this Capricorn moon, and especially I'm really feeling to this build to this Cancer blue moon, is that there's going to be another layer of awareness of what you've been going through this month. So whatever that theme was. And I already felt like one wave of new clarity is coming through. I think another new wave of clarity is going to come through you. And with that comes deep amounts of healing. I know last night I was doing tons and tons of awareness and deep healing. So it's going to continue doing this. Now let me get an angel card, and I'll pull that live and see what we get. And pay attention to your dreams around this time. I think that you're going to get a lot of awareness and a lot of clarity in dream time. And I like to kind of dovetail that into meditation too, because if you get deep enough, you can get your meditation to a dreamlike state. And then that's a really great place where you can work with the subconscious to really bring what needs to come out and use it for your greatest healing. But I really do think this Capricorn energy is giving you a lot of chance to see things in a new way so you can work on them differently, because I know the Capricorn energy wants to work on it after they figure out what it is they need to work on. So.
Awesome. All right, so then on Thursday, the moon is shifting into Aquarius and building into that full blue moon in Aquarius on Friday. And the full moon is happening, Aquarius, at 3:43 a.m. Pacific time. And it's a super moon. I mean, everything is a super moon these days, but this is one of the super moons, so you'll be hearing that out there. So from Osho, I pulled isolation and sharing, which is so interesting for Aquarius. Aquarius, I think Aquarius in the chart really connects us to our ingenuity and our genius, and it just spurs ideas and interesting things. that could be considered by many to be weird. And I think we isolate ourselves a lot when we're feeling weird about this stuff. Like, oh, people aren't going to get that idea. They're not going to understand me. And you kind of hold it in. And I love this card just because, like you see, he's crying these golden tears. That weirdness, that's pure gold. It's time to share your weirdness. You know, my favorite thing with Aquarius to say is like, you can't get out of the box because there never even was a box. So it's time to share that stuff. Just step away. And from the goddesses, my favorite goddess, well, I can't say that because I could say that about many of them, but Mary Magdalene, unconditional love. And I feel like when you can hold yourself in a space of unconditional love, it doesn't matter how weird you are. Look at us right here, like pulling tarot cards. It doesn't matter how weird you are. You're just willing to show up and be like, well, this is who I am. So find in this full moon, this blue moon, you know, happens like once every 3 years that basically we have 2 full moons in a month. It's a cool thing. You know, it's showing us like, hey, weird things happen. Show up. Love yourself through the weird stuff. Share it with the universe. Nikki, Nicole?
All right. Well, so the first card that I picked from the Osho deck was the moment to moment card, and then I picked the awareness card again. So that's a double, like, hey, just so you know, you are going to get those awarenesses. Don't get too impatient. I know you don't like being in the dark. I know you hate being in this fog. You're going to get the awareness. Stay in the moment. And the more you stay in the moment when you get your awarenesses, then you really can work with it. This Aquarius energy, and I like Aquarius energy because really they want to, and I like the sharing card for this too, because what they are aware of, they want to bring it into sharing so they can help humanity. And this is not, what you're going to be aware of where you're stuck in all of these different things is going to be connected to a lot of different people. And the more you get awarenesses in your own life and you work on yourself, the more that kind of energy passes on in the collective consciousness, giving them this subconscious permission slip to go ahead and have a similar awareness. This is why when we pull these cards, they work for everybody, because we are in a collective. We're in this collective consciousness, and it works for everybody. So just know that there are going to be deep, deep healing awarenesses. And the angels say that there's some answered prayers going on. If you've been praying and haven't seen anything flowing or moving, you're going to finally start seeing this. The super moon is like, you know what? You're going to finally see those answered prayers. And also put on some music. Music helps flow the energy and helps soothe the nerves, and it's also part of the collective. So, you know, when we resonate with a certain music, so are so many different people. So we're getting all on the same vibration. So make sure you listen to music that can also help really pull out some of the things that need to be pulled out. And if the issue that you're dealing with, if you're connected in the past with some sort of music that happened at that moment, if you want to bring it up to the surface, listen to that music. It will remind you that smells and music will always bring you right back into that moment, so you can be moment to moment and heal that in this moment.
I love that, especially in light of Aquarius, which is, or not Aquarius, Uranus, which is Aquarius's ruler, being retrograde, like going into the past and bringing those smells and sounds forward. I totally have that going on in my life right now, so that is so appropriate. All right, so also on Friday with our full moon, we have Venus finally going back into Leo. So Venus went retrograde last week. Venus is shifting back into Leo on Friday. And I'm going to show my goddess card first. I pulled Aphrodite, inner goddess, and says, awaken the goddess within you through dance, self-care, and appreciating your divinity. And I think that just says so much. I mean, Aphrodite is Venus. So, I mean, they're the same energy, just, you know, different names depending on which culture it is. So it's time to awaken your divinity. It's time to awaken your goddess. And Leo is the sign of the heart. So we really do this by allowing ourselves to be who we are, express from the heart. Sharing, like that card, the Aquarius card, the Aquarius full moon is helping us really embrace this. And the Osho cards I pulled, I love. understanding where, look, this is freedom, no bars, the bars are opening, you're flying away, which I think when we're flying, like that's the essence of freedom. That's the essence of being true to your vibration, or suppression. And this is what happens. This is what it feels like when you hold back, when you don't express your heart, when you don't allow yourself to be the divinity that is like inherent to you, when you don't allow your inner child to be like, I'm loud and I'm crazy and I love it. You know, one of my best friends and I have a habit of dancing in the grocery stores. Always, you know, that is our inner child. We are understanding of our true nature that loves to dance in grocery stores, because sometimes there are some good songs going on in there. So be aware if you're feeling, I don't know, if you're feeling tight, if you're feeling suppressed, see how you can practice some understanding of yourself and get into those places where you're holding back so that you can really step into your divine goddess nature. Cool.
Okay, so my cards that I picked for this Venus going back into Leo. This is so, it keeps tying in with awareness, so we'll just keep going there. New vision. New vision, so new awareness is new vision. And then also that kind of goes along with the answered prayer. So I think when you get this new clarity, you're going to start having this new vision to put it out. And then spiritual growth. Now, one thing that I want to kind of point out here, there's a lot of feathers in this card. They're hard to see there in the background. And then this angel is actually letting go of some feathers, and definitely a lot of feathers. That understanding card had the same thing and had the feathers. But I'm wearing feathers. We have a lot of feathers. And Aphrodite too. So it's like I'm thinking that there is like this is kind of sprouting our wings. This is really time to let go of some molting feathers that we no longer need, that are holding us down and not letting us fly right, and really being able to take new flight, take new vision, get the plan in order, know what we want to do. And this is all, I know that this is Leo energy, but I think that I keep getting this Aquarius, Uranus energy also coming in with this message, saying that this is pertaining to the collective. It's pertaining to, you know, how you're out in the world in service. And so with that, Leo, the Venus Leo energy, it's like, how are you loving yourself and how are you loving your service? How are you loving yourself and how are you bringing that to service? And for some reason, I'm getting these two together. So this new vision is going to be like this new way of either how you're going to be in service with your partner, your lover, or how you're going to be in service to the collective. So watch out for that this week. A lot of that. Lots of planning. So get that planner out and get some plans on the books. And you're going to set this new vision, this new awareness in motion.
Such a Virgo advice. Get out that planner. But it's so funny. I'm a Sagittarius. I'm actually doing that. So, hey, you know.
Well,
I say Virgo.
You point the direction there, Saggy, and we're going, okay, how do we get this done? How do we get this done? You know, that's also Capricorn energy, but our Virgo-ness is like, we need to make this real. We have the vision. Let's make this real. Let's manifest this, because what's a vision if you're not putting it into motion? Says the Virgo.
Says the Virgo. It helps. It totally is true. It totally works. All right, so on Saturday, we're moving into August. So I figured we'd pull a card just for August. And the card I pulled for August, Leo, so appropriate. It is the lion, conditioning. There he is, wearing a sheep costume, not looking like a very happy lion. And so, you know, this time of August, it's time to take off the sheep. It's time to take off the costume. I mean, Leo loves to get dressed up, but maybe if you're a big, powerful cat, you don't want to be dressing like a sheep. So take that into your own self. How are you wearing masks of something that isn't true to you? And during this time of Leo, my favorite, one of my favorite, I say everything's my favorite, but I love the little Rumi verse, roar lion of the heart and tear me open. This is the card. This is the essence of August. We are breaking open into our authenticness. Look at all the astro. The astro is all supporting this. All this retrograde is just helping us go in and look within so that we can burst forward. And from the goddesses, Mother Mary, expect a miracle. Have faith your prayers are being heard and being answered. I think so many of us have that silent prayer, like, please let me show up and like live my purpose, live my passion, live my heart. And so I think this is part of the miracle that's happening, you know, by taking off the sheep is one of those miracles. But beyond that, expect more miracles to come through. And this is kind of like what Nikki's been saying with her new vision and all of that. It's all tying in. Cool?
So speaking of tying in, I'll start with my angel card. The self-acceptance card. You know, that Mimi just kind of said that. You got to take off the sheep's clothing and accept that you're a lion. Accept that you have a voice. Accept that, you know, maybe what you've been dreaming of, you actually have to own, and begin to not only accept the good things, because I have this guy too, the ordinariness card. And what I always say about the ordinariness card, and I love this, is sometimes we also have to accept our mediocrity and what we're not the greatest at, what we, you know, and all the ordinariness that we are. That's okay too, because when you accept what you're ordinary or mediocre at, you can also start accepting what you're good at. We can't be great at everything. And I also want to say, because I didn't understand the ordinariness card at first, so I pulled another one, and I pulled the lovers. Sometimes you also have to accept the mediocrity of your lover, and be compassionate around that. And know that you can't be so critical on them, because guess what? Mirror, mirror on the wall, they're just mirroring your own. But that also comes with self-acceptance. I think your relationships in August are going to be able to mirror a lot of who you are to help you accept where you're showing up, accept how you're showing up in relationship and how you're showing up, and that's okay that you're not perfect. You're perfect in your imperfection. And so when you can start really forgiving yourself for the imperfections of yourself, then you can start letting go of a lot of that self-judgment and really start moving along in everything that you're trying to get accomplished.
Absolutely. Love that. All right, so then the moon is shifting into Pisces on Saturday as well. And the first card I'm going to show is actually the goddess card, Isis, past lives. This situation involves your past life memories. So, past lives, some of us work with them, some of them has come up with them, some of us don't. But if there's ever a time when past lives are just so prevalent with all of this retrograde, especially in Pisces, Neptune and Chiron are both retrograde. So that Pisces energy is definitely, the moon is going to be meeting up with them, feeding into this. Pay attention. And you know what? Sometimes past lives you don't have to treat. Like, stories will come up. When I was a little girl, I used to dream of this leopard prowling by my forest. We lived on the edge of a forest. And I wouldn't go outside because I would always have this dream of the leopard prowling by the forest. And so I was like, I can't go outside at night because the leopard will eat me. I lived in New York State. There were no leopards. There was no leopard that was going to eat me, but I couldn't do it. And like 2 or 3 years ago, I was watching TV and I saw this PBS special that had like leopards, and they're like, these leopards, they come to the edge of the jungle, and if any of the tribal children are out there at night, they will get eaten. I was like, oh, there it is. And maybe it was a past life, maybe it wasn't. And maybe it was trying to, teach me, get me into something else. Listen to these stories that come up. Take a second and look at those stories that you've been carrying since you were a little girl or a little boy, whatever you are, and just see, maybe this is teaching me about something now. Because I always think that past life stuff is always about what's happening now. And so the Osho cards that I pulled actually are very interesting. Success. So I feel like if you're willing to look at that stuff, maybe you're going to have success with something that you're working through right now that you're like, I don't know what the answer is. Take a look into some of those stories that you've been carrying. And the other card that I pulled is the abundance card. And so I feel like this is feeding into a prosperous future, whether it's prosperous in love, prosperous in spirituality, prosperous in whatever. But, you know, relax into it. Don't worry. This guy's, he's so relaxed. He's just like sitting on the mountaintops being like, yeah, whatever stories come, it's all good. So don't stress yourself out. Don't worry about it. Be in the moment, but be willing to see what's coming up for you, because it could potentially help you move through things. Nicole?
Okay, so first I'm going to start with the past life thing. I think me and my daughter are going through some past life thing. The other night, she was talking in her sleep, and she's like, she was kind of frustrated, and she's like, I have to go back to work to check on something. And I was like, she's 3.5, you know, and I'm like, okay, wait, what is going on? And then she got sick, and last night we're processing a lot, and I'm feeling this kind of past lifey thing right now. So, you know, check that out. See how I like what Mimi said, like see how these stories are kind of running and see how we can pull them now in the moment so you can get your power back. So for my Pisces moon card, I have 3 and it's all over the place. So I'm not quite sure the through line of this, so I'm going to go to each card and we'll just go one by one. And because Pisces is, and it's so like Pisces, right? To be like, it doesn't make any sense. No, it doesn't, because you know, an emotional roller coaster in that Neptune and all that, it could be like, whoa, in one day. So we're going to start with, we'll start with this one. We'll start with the Thunderbolt card. So this is the Tower card. So this means that there might be some kind of massive upheaval. It might be a massive upheaval physically, or it might be a massive upheaval emotionally. With it, just be patient, right? It might be, maybe it's getting someone else around you is going to have a temper tantrum, but you got to be patient with this process, because sometimes we have to go through the temper tantrum of it and to get the information, you know, that will come with it. Then the angels have the enchantment card. So we have this like blasted tower and enchantment and patience, and I'm like, what the heck? So maybe you're going to find out you're pregnant. I don't know. Watch somebody like text me like, oh my God, Nikki, you said that about Saturday, and I found out I was pregnant Saturday, and I'd start laughing. So what I'd say with all of it, if things are getting heavy, still remember that life's a game, and have a little fun with it. And there is like, I keep getting like this childlike energy with all of them. Enchantment, patience, the woman's pregnant, and then this kind of like thunderbolt, even though this isn't, I'm getting some kind of child thing. Maybe your child's going to have a temper tantrum. I'm not sure. But notice what your inner child's doing in this Pisces moon, because that may be the key to what you need. Some healing, I don't know. But I'm getting inner child or physical child. So just kind of be aware of that for Saturday.
Makes sense. You know, Leo is the sign of the inner child. And if there's a sign that it's potentially more dramatic than Leo, it's Pisces. So there you go. That combined energy can go anywhere.
There might be some melodrama. And, you know, and I don't know if it's going to be like this huge thing. I think it might just be melodrama. And you might go in the, like, the world's falling apart, and then it's the greatest day ever. I keep seeing, like, if you've ever seen the Rapunzel, the Disney's Tangled movie, where she gets out of the tower and she's like, it's the best day ever. I can't believe I did this. It's the best. That's kind of what I'm getting.
You just nailed, oh my gosh, I understand Savannah now, this little girl I used to watch who's a Cancer, and she used to do that, like, it's the best day, today is the worst day, and I was like, where did this come from? And I just always chalked it up to being a Cancer, but she loves that movie Tangled, so there you go.
There it is. Yeah, and I always laugh because I've had those moments, but you know what I mean? It's like, that's what I'm getting for Saturday.
Got it. Cool. Well, one last thing. happening on Saturday. We actually, and this is actually happening very late at night. So in some places, it'll actually be Sunday, but Saturn is going direct. So Saturn's been retrograding in Scorpio. It's only gotten to 28 degrees, and now it's going direct, heading straight back towards my sign. And we have a little bit of time. We have all through August for it to go through Scorpio. It's not going to hit Sagittarius again till September. I think it's a few. But the cards I pulled, actually, it's so funny because they feel so Sagittarius. So there might be, almost, as hard as Saturn and Sagittarius could be, I feel like it's so much lighter than Saturn in Scorpio has been. And the cards I pull, I feel like reflect this. Possibilities. We're moving into this place of openness and possibilities. And I think this is because we've done so much work around our root chakra. We've done so much work around our shame. There's still work to be done. There's still possibilities of, some of that dark stuff, those skeletons in your closet that you've been holding to surface. But it's time to rebel. It's time to break those chains. Look at him breaking through those chains. And this reminds me of so many of our cards that are like saying, hey, practice your awareness, break through, be true to yourself, be in that new vision. And the final card, the goddess card, divine passion. This is the essence of it all. This is where I think we all want to be, in this place of like, yes, life, I'm embracing it, I'm ripping through those chains, I'm in my desire, I'm in this passionate moment. So Saturn moving direct is having us move into this amazing place of the rebel, possibilities, and divine passion. So it's time to rebel past those shadows. They don't make you who you are. They're part of it. They're part of your story. They're part of your journey, but they're not the whole of you. And you are worthy of moving in the direction of your desires. You're worthy of living your passion. Believe it, believe in the possibilities of it, and keep on moving in that direction.
So I have, you're going to laugh, but I have the past life and the abundance card as well. And that was a couple of things before, but I pulled the past life and I pulled the abundance card. So as Saturn is now, it's rolling over the master levels in Scorpio. So this is the very tail end of that for 30 years. Hooray. And then we go back to Sag. What I'm getting is, because my angel card is new beginning. So it's almost exactly what Mimi said, is like this ending to something, and of course it's an ending of something and then starting something new in Sagittarius, right? So these new beginnings. Now we had that run over us already, and then it ran back over, and if you're somebody who has planets in that place, it's been really crazy. And Mimi, I think, does too. So it's been a little nuts. But know that because it ran over, now it's starting to move forward, and you're not having to go back over that again. That you can start that new beginning now. Now things are going to start moving forward. Before it was like, oh, why isn't it moving forward yet? Well, now that Saturn is moving forward, I think things will move forward very quickly for you. I think that whatever this past life thing is, too, is tied to your dharma. And what I mean by dharma is your purpose, what you're here to do. So all that digging, like what you were learning, I think that's what you're going to teach. And I think that's part of your purpose. So, and that will bring abundance. And I know in my own life that makes so much sense for me. So whatever you're really kind of coming up, those awarenesses, they're coming up to the surface. That was from past life stuff. And then allow it to be a new beginning. Allow it to be a new beginning. Allow, like, the old stagnant money energy also to die, and move forward new. Because I love Sagittarius energy because it always feels like a new beginning. They always feel like a new adventure. It always feels like a new opportunity or new vision, and I've pulled a lot of these cards. So allow that energy. Saturn's going to run over that, but allow that grounded Saturn energy take your vision that you have, this purpose and dharma, and allow that Saturn to just be your good old-fashioned hard work to get it done. Because that's what will bring you abundance. It's not just the vision. Again, says the Virgo, it's the hard work that Saturn will put you through it so you can get it done and then create that abundant life for yourself.
Awesome. All right. Well, that takes us through next Sunday. That's Pisces moon. And all the way to next Monday, where we will have another Gaia GPS coming out. So for more information, check out the daily horoscope videos. Nicole and I both post on our Gaia Blooming Facebook page. Check out that stuff. And then check out our Gaia Perspective, which will also be coming out at some point during this week. So have a beautiful shift. Enjoy your blue moon. I hope something beautiful, amazing, and miraculous comes about with this blue moon. And we'll see you next week. Namaste.
Oh, all right. Namaste. See you.